Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to take a much closer look at the mysterious and elusive Turok 2 not for resale demo cartridge. There's a lot to cover inside and out with this copy, so let's talk about its aesthetic first and some background before popping it into play. When looking over the entire NFR set, Turok 2 is like the elephant in the room. What's going on with a label like that? What led to it standing out in such a way? Well, it's important to recognize that the production of this cartridge inherently had the potential of being so different than the others because it was the first non-Nintendo and non-Rareware NFR copy. It was made by Acclaim. So while Nintendo and Rareware published labels that were by and large accurate to their retail release, we can see that Acclaim clearly just didn't go with the same early publishing route and apparently just slapped this plain white label with black text on there for these demo carts and called it a day. And to be honest, while looking at all of these NFRs for the multiple sets, I'm surprised this type of thing only happened once, but I guess it comes down to clearly there just being a consistent demo label process with Nintendo and Rareware, while Acclaim did not. Turok 2's demo cart distribution is also unique in that it wasn't just used leading up to North America's December 10th, 1998 launch, but there was also a PAL copy that looks pretty much identical leading up to Europe's December 18th of 98 launch as well. Not only is its physical appearance and history unique, but it also has a staggering amount of more beta content than any of the other NFRs, like an overwhelming amount with almost countless things to mention, ranging from its weapon layout, weapon animations, placement of enemies, placement of items, options menus, font sizes, cutscene details, and more. So let's take a dive into the copy and take a look at a bunch of these changes with comparative pictures and videos for reference. First thing to mention is just the slightly different text on the first screen. On the second screen is where you have the demo message. This in-store demonstration has been edited to reduce violence and gore. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil is a mature rated game. Final game will feature 24 awesome weapons, 6 massive worlds, 30 terrifying enemies, incredible bosses, deathmatch for up to 4 players, Turok 2 Seeds of Evil arriving Christmas of 1998. Pretty cool stuff. Once you get started, something you can notice right away is that the Acclaim logo watermark in the top right corner, and it actually stays there for the entire duration of play. A minor difference here is to note that the entertainment font is actually light blue in the demo as opposed to white in the final. The start screen in this case is now of course a demo level select screen. Briefly touching on the options first, you can see that there are a lot less than in its final release, and a pretty obscure detail with its control settings is that the style names were changed. The Turok control scheme is notably different from some other popular first-person shooters of the era, namely GoldenEye, and although they believed their controls were best fit for their game, the developer still wanted to please everybody that might have been thrown off from what they were used to, and the demo actually has these two control types labeled as Turok and Golden as their two styles, and later renamed them as Expert and Arcade respectively, which is why the arcade setting mimics GoldenEye's controls. The sound option layout is also a bit different, plus without the option to change the volume of speech throughout the game. Once you pick a stage, you'll notice that the cutscene has just a couple of small differences, where the portal appears larger in the demo, and the camera has been zoomed out to see more of him. Apparently the voice quality has been improved with Adon, the character that guides and debriefs you on locations and such throughout the game.
I am Adon. The elders of the lost land, known as the Lazarus Concordance, have charged. Greetings, Turok. I am Adon. The elders of the lost land, known as the Lazarus Concordance.
But even more interesting is her change with how many energy totems that your main antagonist seeks to destroy.
The Primogen seeks to destroy the 6 energy totems that keep him imprisoned within. The Primogen seeks to destroy the 5 energy totems that keep
Going from 6 to 5 would indicate that perhaps another level or concept was planned for that 6 energy totem, but cut later on, which is really interesting. Another minor detail is the black screen that actually has a graphic in the final release while it's loading.
keep him imprisoned within the wreckage of his lightship. If he succeeds in to destroy the 5 energy totems that keep him imprisoned within the wreckage of his lightship. If he succeeds...
Another thing to mention is with how some things appear differently in the cutscenes, like the beacon in the lighthouse that doesn't turn on in the demo, while it does in the final release.
Activate 3 distress beacons.
And the way the energy totem is portrayed looks different too, just being made more clear and vibrant, with notably less fog.
Locate the energy totem and defend it at all costs.
The pause menu in the demo also has many less options than the final release did, with only the most basic choices to start things out. Alright, now let's take a look at the first choice, Harbor. As I was saying before, there are a ton of minor differences present in the demo, and I'll make sure to cover the most notable of everything that I could find out by way of research and playing the game. Let's talk about weapons. There are a ton of differences regarding how your weapons look when you fire, and even how they're laid out for you to use. In the demo version, you cycle through your weapons one at a time, while the final has the quick weapon selection option of all your weapons appearing on screen, and you select with the direction of your joystick. Aside from how you navigate choosing your weapons, you can also see that they're aesthetically different, with smaller images within boxes for the demo and outright larger pictures used in the final release. The flare gun has a much slower recharge time in the demo and also appears not as bright as in the final. The melee attacking with the Warblade, or Talon, has a swiping animation cut from it. While it's normal to have these swipes going from side to side, left to right, there was one more of a lunging forward swipe that is actually slower and less useful than the others, which is more than likely why it was cut out. The Shredder looks and performs differently, with its ricocheting shots going all over the place, but the final version made it much easier to use strategically, with it bouncing off in a straight line. The grenade launcher has a long yellow trail behind the grenade, as opposed to a more clear short trail like in the final. The charge dart rifle is also quite different, with its consistently blue shots as opposed to the different colors used in the final version that indicate the charge level of your weapon, and there was also no impact sound present in the demo version, so it doesn't interact with the rumble feature as well. Plasma rifle has also changed quite a bit, where the demo has you using it in a way that attached a sticky explosive to the enemy, but the final release has it inflicting damage on impact, and slightly different look overall. The Firestorm cannon also has a different color of its fire too, and even a slightly different sound from the weapon while in use. The Magnum pistol was renamed Mag 60 for its final version, and although the firing sound is the same, there was an impact sound added to the final release, and the bullet holes from impact were even made just a bit smaller for whatever reason. Last but certainly not least, the tech bow underwent several changes, like its aesthetic when aiming, being able to draw the bow faster in the demo than the final, and the screen even gets a little glitchy when you try to zoom your aim. Speaking of the weapons, you'll also see that there are several that are missing, which makes sense, and there's even a missing spot in the weapon layout right here in the top left. Alright, after all those weapon details, now we can finally do some playing and talking about the level. There's an astounding amount of minor differences literally scattered across just about everything, whether that's the initial explosion looking quite different, the texture of the water being a bit more blue, lighting on some walls varying here and there, items simply in different spots, and a varying amount of enemies throughout the stage. There's even different texture on the raptors from the final release, appearing more like the raptors in the first game, plus some areas with just different enemies of choice too. With it being a level select type of demo, of course it cannot save and you're unable to advance by finding the necessary keys. There are some more notable differences, like a large checkpoint in a space you wouldn't have seen before. Trying to advance to the portal at the end will read this text, as opposed to allowing you to continue. It's pretty hard to notice, but they must have been in some joking mood, as they have red dice blocks coming out of explosions in the demo for whatever reason. It's quick, easy to not see, so maybe just some silly demo Easter egg, who knows, but pretty strange. Overall, playing the levels in their entirety would make the video upwards of an hour long. This video is just meant to boil down and highlight the most obvious differences, while those that want to see every square inch of the demo can also experience this ROM to any degree that they would like to take their exploration. As far as this video goes, let's take some brief looks at the other two levels in the demo while mentioning some other fun facts that I read about. As you play the demo, you might be surprised that your control feels just a bit different, with it being more difficult to control with the joystick's increased sensitivity. Although there are options to adjust the sensitivity, would you believe that changing the vertical doesn't change anything at all? How bizarre is that? Turok players would be familiar with the classic battle cry, "I am Turok!" And they use this when you collect 100 Life Force diamonds, but in the demo, they actually didn't have this voice added yet for that moment. Let's take a look at the final area in the game, and final one for us to demo, the battlements. Here are some other obscure facts. Did you know that this demo has Turok's grunt with every single jump? While the grunt is in the final version of the game, it's not every time. and is apparently randomized on when it happens. This was done just to avoid getting annoying or old for sections with multiple jumps in a row. Couple more fun facts. Did you know that the fire hurts you in the demo but not in the final release? And they even had your own explosions, like from your tech arrows for example, cause damage to you as well, but in the final they removed this too. One more graphical thing to point out, the Life Force icon is a triangle in the demo and appears like the first Turok's icon, but was changed to a diamond later. Lastly, if you don't press anything at all for 60 seconds, the game resets itself, considered to make it a better and more approachable Kiosk title. As you could imagine, a Kiosk copy like this doesn't come around very often, being posted online anywhere from maybe once to 3 or 4 times a year. It's caught many collectors' eyes over the years and went from being worth hundreds and has even sold for over 1,000. But like I said, the ROM is available if you just want to explore it on your own. And overall guys, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to give it a like if you did, and also I hope to see you for the next episodes. So be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.